Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Maple Leafs Media post-game show. You all know me. I'm your guy, Jake. And today, we've got someone who's usually in the comment section every single show. We got Brooksy. You want to introduce yourself?
Hello, Leafs Nation. I am Brooksy, also known as Speedy Man. Pleasure to be here. Jake, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on. Thank you for joining the show. I want to get some more viewers on the show, and it's great to do this. It's going to be a fun show.
Yes.
So the Maple Leafs, they sweep a 3-game series against the Vancouver Canucks, but there's a big glaring question about tonight's game. And that question is, did the Toronto Maple Leafs deserve this win?
I would say no, just because Vancouver was just completely all over them. And you know me, every show in the comments I preach about consistency. And this is one of those games that at least were not consistent enough. But in the end, they came out with the win. And that's all that matters, thanks to Freddie Anderson.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to agree. The Maple Leafs definitely did not deserve this win. I mean, sometimes you got to be good to be lucky and lucky to be good. Maple Leafs come out with the win. That's all that matters. And they sweep the Canucks. The Maple Leafs crushed the Canucks over these past 3 games. And I think that this right here, the Maple Leafs not deserving this win, is a testament to how special our goaltender, Frederik Andersen, is. He's been outstanding these past few games. I want to show some stats because 31 saves on 32 shots tonight, 58 saves on the past 60 shots he's faced. He's been outstanding.
Yeah, he has been, and he's been the Leafs' backbone for many years, and it's always hard to see when people get down on him, especially when they lose, but he definitely stole this win for the Leafs tonight.
Yeah, Leafs Nation, we should be sending him a big virtual thank you card for the performance he's had. I mean, he's done this multiple times now. He's stolen points on multiple occasions. He's stolen us points by allowing us to go to overtime with a big save against Edmonton Oilers, and he stole this win tonight. The Leafs, they got the lucky bounces, but 31 saves on 32 shots. He was outstanding and stood on his head.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll get to some comments here, see what everyone else in Leafs Nation thinks. We got Joseph Clark says, Brooks, the beauty.
What's up, Clarky?
I think it's time to separate the second line. They're terrible 5 versus 5. Can they complete just one zone entry? What did you think of the second line out there tonight?
I think that second line, they weren't really noticeable tonight. Especially, I guess, like throughout the games too, they have VC up there at one point. They have Boyd up there at one point. I just don't think they found that extra winger to work with Nylander or Tavares, and I think it's going to be a little bit more experimenting to do on that second line for sure.
Well, it hurts that Wayne Simmonds is out because I think that Wayne Simmonds would have been a great fit on that second line. We didn't really get to see it come to fruition. We saw it in a very small sample size, but I think in 6 weeks from now, that could be the best second line in hockey.
And that's what I mean. Like early on, even though it's only a 1-game showing, but he looked really good on that second line, very comfortable, and I think he gave that line an extra, that needed spark to keep going.
He says, I'm thinking John Tavares is the problem, to be honest, and I'm going to disagree with you. John Tavares is, I mean, this is the second straight show we've had comments about John Tavares, and I think that John Tavares gets a little bit too much criticism. I know he's got a massive contract and massive expectations. 13 points in 14 games. You can't really ask for much more than that.
Well, over a point a game this year, I'm not going to agree with that either. He's, especially early on against Montreal, he played really well. I think it's just a matter of time before he really gets fully going.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I really think he can have a career year still. I know it's a 56 game season, but in the points per game category, I think he can. I really think that John Tavares, he's going to bring it this year. He's got that intensity. He's got a lot of fire in him. Just looking at his preseason interviews, his press conferences, he seems motivated, and he seems like he's going to get everyone else in the locker room motivated.
Yeah.
Uh, Carl says, Freddie the man.
Yeah,
Freddie.
100%.
Anthony says, we're winning the Stanley Cup. I'm telling you that. I mean, let's hope so. Let's hope
I
so.
hope so too.
At least Sandin got an assist. We'll come back to this and talk
Yeah.
about Rasmus Sandin in a bit. So we got comments about Nick Robertson in the comments section. When Robertson comes back, he should get a look on that second line. What are your thoughts on this, Brooks?
Um, I think he should get a chance on that second line, but at the same time, when he comes back, you don't want to throw him right in there right away. I think if you give him, toss him in on that third, maybe fourth line, just let him ease back into the game mode situations. You don't want to rush him back too much and make him do too much too soon as well.
That's a great point. We got to find a way to integrate him into the lineup, and this lineup's had a lot of success without him and Jumbo Joe. Hopefully, Jumbo Joe's coming back soon. He's been practicing. No timetable for his return, though. He could definitely get a look on that second line, and I would not be disappointed with that at all. I think that he could definitely perform up to that standard. Let's get into the 3 stars of tonight's game. I think that. Well, let me know if you disagree with this in the comment section. But Frederik Andersen's got to be the first star. 31 saves, 32 shots. Stood on his head.
Oh.
Austin Matthews. Seems like we're saying this every single show. Second star of the game.
Lights out. Another game with another goal. I think he's on like a 6 or 7 goal scoring streak right now with at least a goal.
Yeah.
He's been getting hot at the right time.
Yep, and hopefully we can see this streak keep growing and growing. We're going up against the Montreal Canadiens. Love seeing your best players perform like your best players.
Exactly.
Morgan Riley, third star of the game, opened up the scoring for the Maple Leafs, and he played a solid game defensively as well.
Yeah, I think an honorable mention too should go to Mitch Marner too. He's had a nice run too of a point in at least 8 straight games as well. So I think, and he's been playing really, really well as well.
He has been, and he's been performing for your fantasy team.
Yes, he has.
Jarrett says the Matthews score streak continues. Add Marner to that third star with Riley. That first line is on fire right now. So he's with you.
Yeah.
Riley. Leafs fought off a slow start to take the W, and Freddie was solid.
Yeah.
This is what good teams do. That's a great comment, Jack. Like I said, you got to be lucky to be good and good to be lucky. The Maple Leafs, they've gotten lucky a couple times. You don't just win games by not being a good team. We got, how about this? How concerning is this to you? That the Maple Leafs were outshot 32-19.
That's very concerning, especially they were outshot in that first period pretty heavily, where they only had 4 shots in that first period. And that goes back to what I've been preaching before about the inconsistencies of the Leafs team. And my opinion, going into the game against Montreal, you cannot be outshot that heavily and really expect to win that game. And like I said before, eventually it is going to catch up to them.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And you've been preaching that in the comments section night in and night out. I love to see that. I mean, they haven't really dominated a full game. They did the past 2 games against Vancouver, but outside of these Vancouver games, there hasn't been a time where they've blown my socks off and just dominated a full 60 minutes. Going up against Montreal, we need to be more consistent. We had 3 shots in the second period and 4 in the first period. That's It's a bit of an embarrassment. We gotta come out firing against Montreal because they will make us pay.
Yes.
Uh, Interesting question. And I'll let you answer this first. Serious question. Is Matthews the most talented player we've ever had as a franchise?
I would think so. Like, looking back over the great players that Toronto has had, Sundin, Gilmore, and everything, I think Matthews is one of the most talented players, other than Mitch Marner has the most talented on this team, like in previous years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking at least in my lifetime, it's not that long, but he's definitely the most talented I've seen in my lifetime. In my generation, definitely for this franchise. And I wouldn't be surprised by the end of his career that he leads in all the major statistical categories for the Leafs: goals, assists, points, you name it. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, maybe not assists. I think Marner
No,
would lead in assists, but
yeah,
goals, points, he could definitely take that.
I think it'd be a fight between him and Marner for points for sure.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, Mitch Marner, he's well over a point per game player.
Yeah,
Uh, Toronto test against Montreal. Montreal will be in good shape. We look tired, maybe sluggish with no jump, and maybe that has something to do with the fact we were looking ahead, looking forward to these Montreal games. We can't be looking ahead. We got to take it one game at a time, but bigger things in these next few games against Montreal.
for sure.
I think Bennett might be really good with John Tavares and Willie. I know Rib would agree with you. I could see it. I could see it,
I,
but I don't know if we're gonna make that trade or not.
it's hard to say.
Anthony thinks. Well, Anthony says the St. Pat's jersey is coming in tomorrow. Do you like those jerseys? I'll let you take this first, Brooksy.
I actually like the St. Pat's jerseys, kind of going back to their old days, their old roots, and I always like the green jerseys, and that's why I think on the reverse retro, the green with the blue with the color of the St. Pat's would look actually better than the gray.
That would be a lot better than this disastrous jersey that they released. It's a money grab jersey they released. I mean, I have a St. Pat's hat. I really like those St. Pat's jersey. It goes back to the roots, the original days with the St. Pat's. Uh, Chuck says Gilmore was better. Sittler. I mean, there's always going to be debate for this. We'll see by the end of his career how Austin Matthews is in the rankings. It's pretty early still. Miles Tech says we needed to be better tonight. Gave up a lot. I don't think we should have won this game. We got outplayed all game long. I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
I mean, got to be lucky to be good and good to be lucky. Matthews is one of the best for sure, but this old timer says Terry Sawchuk.
That's
Interesting.
that's really going back. I
Interesting.
think
I,
that's even before my time too.
I'm just not sure that his tenure in Toronto was long enough to be considered the greatest
No,
of all time. Um, he wasn't on the Maple Leafs top 15 players countdown, so sorry about that.
uh,
But what did you think of seeing 11 forwards and 7 defensemen tonight?
no, I don't mind it, but at the same time, I dislike it at the same time, just because you're putting a lot more pressure on your forwards, and they at the same time they play forecheck hard. They play hard. Seven D men, I don't mind just because the fact that you keep all your defensemen fresh, you can rotate them on with whatever pair you like for that seventh defenseman. But I still like the traditional 12-4, 7 defense or 6 defensemen better than the 11 and 7.
I do too. I prefer 12 and 6. I had assumed that it's because of the Simmons injury, and they just want to find a way to integrate Sandin into the lineup. Sandin only got 5 minutes of ice time tonight. He had 1 assist, and he made a major impact. You and I, we've been preaching on this show almost every night. We need to get Rasmus Sandin into the lineup, and it's pivotal to success and development as a player to get him more playing time. What do you think of Rasmus Sandin out there tonight, Brooks?
I thought it looked good, being for the seventh defenseman, but that's what I expect him to be, getting his first game in almost a whole calendar year. I thought he looked really good out there. He contributed with 1 assist. You know what? I couldn't ask much more of him.
Yeah, I mean, especially considering the small sample size of 5 minutes on ice. We saw Sheldon Keefe do the same thing with Mikko Lehtinen, trying to get him into the lineups, kind of easing him in there, giving him little bits of playing time. But I expect his playing time to go up significantly game to game. And the fact that he got an assist, impact that quickly, I think that we need to give Rasmus Sandin more playing time.
Yeah.
And I think that he's done an excellent job out there. How about Austin? This is an interesting talking point. Austin Matthews. Congratulations, Austin Matthews, as he became the second fastest player to record 300 points in Maple Leafs franchise history. Just another accomplishment for this amazing player.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's been lights out this year, and part of that too is the line mates he plays with Marner and Thornton/Hyman. That first line's been on fire lately, and I'm really proud of Matthews for being the second fastest player to get 300 points.
Yeah, it's an outstanding accomplishment behind only Vincent Damphousse. And, I mean, he's also had 9 goals on his last 25 shots and 11 goals in the past 12 games. This kid's special. He's a sniper, generational talent, whatever you want to call him. He is one of the best players in the NHL, and he has one of the best shots in the NHL. He's really starting to develop that defensive aspect as well. Everything I've seen from Austin Matthews this year, I have absolutely loved. And right after Austin Matthews scored the 300 point, 11 seconds later, another goal from Alex Kerfoot to boost the Toronto Maple Leafs past the Vancouver Canucks. It took us 11 seconds to score more goals than the Vancouver Canucks all night long. Love seeing that.
Yeah, I love seeing that too, and give credit to Kerfoot. He's been flying out there playing hard every game. And it's good to see his hard work getting paid off and credited with the goal.
I like this comment from Lauren. Lauren, that's a great comment. Just do whatever you can to make him a Leaf for life. I got a Matthews jersey on here. Or back here. I don't want to lose Austin Matthews. We got 3 more years left on his contract. We need to sign this guy in advance, a year in advance. Give him another contract. I don't care what we have to pay him. You pay Austin Matthews. He's worth every penny.
Yeah, I think I could say the same for Marner as well. Those two, just sign them to whatever you can and make them a Leaf for life.
Yeah, and they've got a wicked chemistry too. Marner's assisted 30 of Austin Matthews' goals since the beginning of last season, which is the most of any dynamic duo in that time frame. That's a very dynamic duo. Question for you though, Brooks.
All right.
Which free agency from the Toronto Maple Leafs this past offseason, which free agency signing has impressed you the most?
I would say Wayne Simmons. He worked hard, and even though it's only a short time, they gave him a shot on that second line, and he fit well on that line. He got like 2 goals the other night, and I think the career so far with the Leafs, it's rejuvenated his career.
Okay, I like that. I like the Wayne Simmons thing, and I mean, I'm with you. I'm all aboard the Wayne train. I gotta agree. He's really rejuvenated his career, and he's been outstanding as a presence out front of the net, veteran leader, presence in the locker room. Everything you want to see, Wayne Simmons has done, and he was deserving that spot on the second line. Unfortunate to see him go down with the injury, but I really think that he's going to rebound just like he did this season from last year. What about Michael Hutchinson? I think we were both expecting him to see him get at least one game against the Vancouver Canucks here. We've got, looking forward in our schedule, we've got Montreal Wednesday night and then Saturday night against Montreal as well. I don't want him playing against Montreal. Then we've got 3 against the Ottawa Senators. I think that those games are definitely the time we need to give Michael Hutchinson at least one start.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say at least one start, maybe even both those starts. You know, you gotta start looking at ways to start getting Freddie Anderson some rest time. Because like I know I kind of said this in some of the shows before. You can't expect Freddie to play, you know, like 60 some odd games and be fresh for the playoffs. You know, and I think come the playoffs times where he takes so much heat, the guy gets worn down. He faces at the time something like 30 shots a game, and you can't expect to win and him to stop all those on with like little to no rest.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Martin Biron, a former NHL goaltender, I've had him on the show as a guest in the past, and he attested to that. He said that Frederik Andersen, he played the third most minutes in the NHL last year. He's just exhausted. You
Yeah,
need to get more reliable play from your backups, and Michael Hutchinson, I think he needs to get in there. I don't really want him to, but he needs to get some playing time.
yeah. I think if he gets some playing time too, and I get a win or two, I think he'll get some confidence back as well. I know he didn't have the best year last year with Toronto, but you have to also look at the team defense and that he had in front of him as well.
Absolutely, I am with you 100%. John here says if Frederik Andersen goes down, the Leafs are done, and I mean, we'll see what Jack Campbell can do. Hasn't been a starter in the NHL ever, and he's out for like maybe 3 or 4 more weeks. But
Yeah,
I mean, you're probably right, John.
yeah, I
Uh,
agree with that.
Chuck says Wayne Trainer, Jumbo Joe. He's been most impressed with. John also says Austin Matthews is gone after 5 years. I don't think so. I don't think so. Let's not talk about it yet.
Uh, uh,
Chuck says Matthews reminds him of Phil Kessel in Toronto. What do you think of the comparison?
There's a little bit of comparison, but I think overall, Matthews is a far much more better player than Phil Kessel was. Phil Kessel also, when he was in Toronto, a lot of the spotlight was on him, and he was like pretty much at the time the greatest thing for the Leafs at that point. You know?
Austin Matthews scores more goals and he eats
Yeah.
less hot dogs than Phil Kessel.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um, okay, how about we get into shot charts and we'll take some comments after this. Shot chart tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Shot cluster, not a very big shot cluster, just 19 shots on goal. Some from the slot area, it's mostly the middle of the ice where you want your shots, but I don't think that there was enough shots on goal from the Toronto Maple Leafs here tonight.
No, not by far.
The Vancouver Canucks shot cluster, that's not looking too good defensively for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's just all over the place. Vancouver is kind of doing whatever they wanted offensively tonight.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show how valuable Frederik Andersen was tonight. He literally stole the win for the Toronto Maple Leafs. John says, do you think the Leafs will sign Frederik Andersen? Interesting. I think that it's going to be a difficult, daunting challenge to re-sign Frederik Andersen after this year. He's on the wrong side of 30, and he's going to be wanting a lot of money with the current cap situation. It's very hard to tell. I mean, if he plays like this every night, I don't think the Maple Leafs will have the money to sign Frederik Andersen again.
Yeah, I think if Anderson plays really well this year, he's going to be playing himself basically, as I said before, out of a contract in Toronto.
Yeah, it's a great point. I really think that he continues to play like this, and he's going to be elsewhere. Salvatore says Vancouver played how we expected, and you know what? Vancouver outplayed the Toronto Maple Leafs in every aspect tonight except for goaltending. And I'm so glad I didn't play Braden Holtby tonight. Barely
Yeah,
made any saves, got a loss. That's in fantasy hockey, at least.
yeah,
Vancouver. You think Vancouver played how we expected?
I think so. I expected Vancouver to come out with a little bit more fire, more energy um, tonight, especially after the last two games where they did not play well defensively. I think even like credit to even Braden Holtby, he played a really good game with some of the chances that Toronto gave him, but
Who do we get if Anderson walks? This is looking really in a crystal ball here. I'm thinking of free agent goaltenders that are on the market. Tuukka Rask, Devin Dubnyk. Not
uh,
really anyone that I'm looking into like a lot, very
uh,
interested in. I'm not sure. I think it would have to be a trade we make.
yeah, I think so too. 'Cause especially I think Rask is pushing 30 something. Dumnik is even up there in age. I think that'd be the best course of action is make a trade for somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Salvatore here says you'd have to make a trade, but what trade? It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be
Yeah,
interesting to see what happens there. And I'm gonna let you answer this question first. What do you think the Maple Leafs' identity is as a team?
I think the Leafs' identity as a team, there's still that run and gun offense, but they at the same time they've gotten better defensively. So I say so far this year they've come a little bit more of a two-way team, but still have that run and gun mentality when they want to.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think that I'm agreeing with you. They're that high octane offense, the team that you'd expect to outscore you, but now they're starting to add that defensive aspect to their game. And I mean, I love what I've seen from the Maple Leafs
Yeah,
everywhere on the ice, but they're still that high octane offense. That's
yeah,
exactly what the Maple Leafs identity is.
exactly.
Corey here says the shot count doesn't do justice. Toronto was sleeping for 40 minutes and shouldn't have been in the game. But what's different is Toronto's finding new ways to win games, which is positive.
I
Great
agree.
comment.
Yeah,
Great comment, Corey. I mean, everything you just said, spot
yeah,
on.
yeah,
Spot on. The Maple Leafs, good teams find ways to win games.
yeah,
And when your goaltender isn't performing, you need the players ahead of you to perform. When the players on the ice aren't performing, you need your goalie to perform. The Maple Leafs have been able to rely on their goaltending and their offense to win games tonight, and that's been the difference this season from years past.
exactly. And even good teams also get lucky as well. So, sometimes it pays to be lucky as well, but then I agree, good teams find a way to win no matter what.
Absolutely. Chuck says they are the true north, and I'm going to go as far to say that this is Canada's team, and we're going to prove
Yeah,
it when we win the Canadian division. Let's go.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, they're becoming more like the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I made this comparison a long, long time ago. I
yeah,
said that this Toronto Maple Leafs team is the most similar team, similar lineup, the way it's constructed, top to bottom. It's the most similar lineup to the Tampa Bay Lightning in
yeah,
the NHL.
yeah,
And
I
that's
agree.
yeah. I mean, just everything about the Toronto Maple Leafs and Tampa Bay Lightning. It's like looking in a mirror at times.
Yeah,
Jack says getting more balanced all the time. And
yeah,
that's what we need. It's what we needed from this team. Uh, Jordan Binnington is available. Maybe he gets his game back with the change of scenery.
yeah,
Could happen. Could
yeah,
happen. Something we could look into, and it's younger. Um, this is all in the future, though. This is a long, long time from now that we're looking ahead. I mean, it's gonna come up faster than we expect, though.
yeah,
Uh, there was something I wanted to get to, but if you guys have any more questions, comments, concerns about tonight's game, Continue dropping them in the comment section. And Jason, I'm gonna let you say this here tonight.
Yeah. And Leafs Nation, smash that like button if you haven't. Hit the notification bell. You'll be notified every time Jake goes live on Leafs Media. If you're on Facebook, share this video. Really helps out the channel, guys.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you.
No
And
problem.
yeah, I mean, I love having just interaction with Maple Leafs fans, Leafs Nation everywhere. We got fans from Australia all the way across the
Yeah.
world. And Brooksy has been on here every single night in the comments section. Thought we'd have him on here for the post game show, and love having you on here, Brooksy.
I love being here. Thank you for having me.
That's awesome. I'm glad to have you on here. Uh, do you think the Maple Leafs should trade for Bobby Ryan?
I know we kind of briefly talked about this on one of the other shows, and I don't think so. Like, he would be a good addition on the Leafs, but it's more or less right now, where would you put him? I know I was guessing like a third line role. He's another big body, but I don't personally for me, I don't really see a need for Bobby Ryan right now. Um, it's just I don't think there'll be really a roster spot really for him.
I mean, if Wayne Simmons' injury lasts longer than expected, I mean, I've had a broken wrist, and that's something
Yeah,
that can be difficult to recover from. There's Joe Thornton, Nick Robertson. If the Maple Leafs forward group continues to get injured, then my answer is yeah, we should maybe
yeah,
go for him. And that answer's changed from my prior show because
yeah,
before it was I don't know where we slot him onto the into this lineup, but now with all these injuries, the injury bug hitting the
yeah,
Maple Leafs hard, we might have to look into acquiring a guy like Bobby Ryan later in the season.
yeah.
Hockey Kid always reminding us. Thank you, Hockey Kid. Rib, he's not here tonight, but yes, he did say that. He did
Yes,
say that he would get a tattoo if the Maple Leafs don't make it out of the Canadian division.
that's right. Yeah,
That's extreme confidence he's got in this team.
yeah.
What playoff matchup do you think would be more entertaining? Toronto versus Montreal or Toronto versus Edmonton? Brooks?
Uh, that's actually a good one, though. Salvatore. I would have to say both could be very, very entertaining. I think Toronto versus Montreal would be a little bit more entertaining. It'd be a lot more physicality in it. Probably a lot more fights happening in that one. So I think that one would be more entertaining to watch. But again, like the Toronto and Edmonton one could be very entertaining too. High octane offenses really going at it. So that one, to me, that for that one, that's a kind of a toss up.
Yeah, those are both great series. I mean, Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, and then the Montreal-Toronto rivalry. I'm going to take the Toronto versus Montreal rivalry. I mean, every time those two teams meet, it's bad blood. It's long, rich history of just hatred between these two teams. But I'm going to go as far to say that I would not be surprised if you saw both of these playoff series happen. I think because it's going to be 1 versus 4. I see
Yeah,
Toronto could be 1, could be Montreal. I
yeah,
think Edmonton's going to be 4. Toronto, Montreal, second. They're going to
yeah,
beat the 3 seed, probably Calgary, in my opinion.
yeah,
And we could see both of these series. That'd be very entertaining.
it would be.
Chuck Fleet says, "Smash the like button." Thank you, Chuck. Thank you.
Good.
Ronnie says he'd like another third line center. So that would be Alex Kerfoot's replacement. What do you think? Has Alex Kerfoot performed up to your expectations this year?
Kerfoot, he's performed up to my expectations, but not fully. I like to see get that third line get a little bit more production out of it. Because you can't always rely on Tavares, Nylander, Matthews, and Marner, your big four, especially if the two lines are rolling. You need your bottom six to start going. I could see maybe a little bit of a better upgrade on that third line, but I think for now, Kerfoot has been proven. He's played a little bit more harder and more physical at times, but we could probably use another little bit better third line center, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we could upgrade the position, but it's tricky with the cap
Yeah,
situation and everything. I mean, Alex Kerfoot, he's taken a lot of penalties recently. I will say that. Alex Kerfoot, he's really a hard worker. He's a workhorse out there on the ice. He's always giving it his all. You can see that night in and night out. He just gets a lot of bad bounces going his way. It's unfortunate, but it's true.
yeah,
And I feel as if he's starting to get more comfortable in the Toronto environment. Last year, he had a really down year, coming with a lot of expectations in that package deal for Nazem Kadri. But I
yeah.
think he's definitely more comfortable with this team this year. Giuseppe says, "Good morning from Italy." Wow, nice,
Wow.
nice to see you all the way from
Yeah,
Europe. Shout
yeah,
out to you, Giuseppe. Go Leafs, go! Leafs Nation is worldwide. Love seeing
yeah,
that.
for sure.
Mark Williams says, "I'd love to be on as a co-host sometime. That'd be awesome." Mark,
Yeah,
feel free to reach out to me at Maple Leafs Media Facebook. I see you on Facebook.
yeah,
Reach out to me. I'll get you on a show sometime.
yeah.
Frank Rusty Nails, another viewer always here in the comments section. He says, "I think the Leafs need to make a minor move to replace what Simmons brought. Grit is needed." What do you think, Jason?
I think so. I agree with Frank Rusty Nails on this one, especially if the Simmons injury becomes more of a longer term than what we expect. Um, I could see them making a little trade for Simmons, for like making a trade to replace Simmons to get a little player with more grit. Um, so I could see that happening. I agree with Frank on this one.
I'd like to see it. I just don't know who they would bring in necessarily. I
Yeah,
don't know who's available with grit right now because any team that's competing, they want that grit on their
yeah.
in their bottom six. So I just I'd love to bring in another gritty player. I just don't know what the market is for it right now.
And also too, you have to look at when making a trade too. It's that whole 14-day quarantine. If you're, coming from if they're training with the team in the States, if they do it within Canada, then it's not so bad. They don't have to do that whole quarantine period.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's going to be really tricky with the whole trade deadline, and I think that the moves are going to come weeks in advance of the trade deadline. Actually, I feel like just because integrating into the lineup this year with the pandemic, it's going to be more difficult than ever before.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't want to see Edmonton. McDavid and Draisaitl can single-handedly steal a series, and they will single-handedly need to steal the series because they have no support outside of them.
And that's my thing too. Like Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, they're a good duo. Don't get me wrong, but they're only gonna go as far as what they have for a supporting cast. And they have a lot of young players on that team as well. And their goaltending's even so like I know I mentioned before, like these goaltenders for Edmonton, they combine for an age of 70. Like you got Mike Smith who's 38 and you got Koskinen who's 32. It's tough. But they would definitely Draisaitl and McDavid would definitely have to steal this series.
Yeah, this may have changed since the last time I checked. It was last week I checked, but last week, the goalie with the highest goals against average in the NHL was Mikko Koskinen. I
Yeah,
really do not believe him as a goaltender, and I've compared the Edmonton Oilers to the Pittsburgh Penguins. They've got two generational talents: Malkin, Crosby, McDavid,
yeah, Draisaitl.
Draisaitl,
Yeah,
but they don't have the surrounding pieces.
no,
Pittsburgh won multiple Stanley Cups with their
no,
dynamic duo. I just don't see it happening with Edmonton right now.
no.
He says, "Call me crazy." I'm trying to figure out how to say his name. He's always on here. Is it A? Is it just ASE?
Yeah,
I'll just say
well,
ASE.
yeah,
Call me crazy, but I'd rather face Montreal than Edmonton. Interesting.
that's interesting.
It is very interesting. Stephanie Smith says, "Go Leafs, go! Go
Yeah,
Leafs, go!"
well, let's go.
Okay, let's have a little fun with this, Brooksy.
All right.
If you could change the last name of any Canadian team, which city would it be, and what would it be named after? I think the Winnipeg Frost with icicles as a logo with whiteout during the playoff. Um, okay, this is gonna take a bit to think about,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, that might take a bit.
I kind of want the
Like
Winnipeg Thrashers, or no, the Winnipeg Coyotes make Jets fans really upset.
I was thinking like Calgary Flames. I don't know what you would change. A lot of the Canadian teams too.
Yeah, I
Mm,
mean,
mm,
that's a tough question. I mean, I could definitely see Winnipeg Jets fans getting pissed off if you said the Winnipeg Coyotes, though. So I'll
yeah,
say that. I'll say that, but just because their team left Winnipeg and they were
yeah,
team left forever. So that's just a bit of a troll job right there.
yeah,
The way they're calling penalties this year, the power play is more important than ever. I think we're very strong there. We are extremely strong on the power play.
yeah. We are tops in the league in power play percentage, up over 40%, and then the Leafs make teams pay for taking penalties.
Yep, love to see it. I mean, coming into this game, we had scored a power play goal in each of our past 7 games. That's an extremely impressive stat. And you take a penalty against the Leafs, you just said it.
Yeah,
They're going to make you pay. They're going
yeah,
to make you pay for taking penalties. That's what you need to see. You need to see your power play contribute in big time moments. Uh, John says Leafs need more defenders. I'm going to disagree with this. I think they just need maybe another top four defenseman. I don't think that they need more defense because they have so much defensive depth. But maybe they could get another top pairing guy with Morgan Riley. That'd be good.
yeah. I think so because you have to look at too if you want to get another top four defender. At the same time, you have to consider looking at who would you trade off that defensive line as well. I know Dermot Stain's been thrown out there a lot. I could see him being on the move, but at the same time, you guys got to think on also too the expansion draft coming up as well. And the way Diabas runs his team, he always wants somebody with term as well.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with the expansion draft this year. Joseph Clark says, "Love the show, boys. Brooksy just dropping knowledge, and you have been all night, every night in the comments. Thank you, Brooksy."
You're welcome. Thank you, Clarky.
Chuck says, "What's your opinion on Crosby going to Montreal if that trade happened?" And I'm going to show you a little something here. I'm going to show you a little something. I'm a big Crosby fan, favorite player.
Uh,
This is this is me and Sidney Crosby here. That's Sidney Crosby and I. And I'd be hurt if Sidney Crosby went to the Montreal Canadiens. I'd have to change my room completely. I don't want that to happen.
uh,
I would be really pissed off.
yeah, it would be, in my opinion, it'd be also very interesting to see that happen. Crosby coming to Montreal. But in the end, I don't see Pittsburgh making that trade unless Montreal is either going to give something up or Montreal better like Toronto better have like deep pockets to pay out Sidney Crosby as well.
Yeah, I mean, imagine Crosby in a Maple Leafs uniform. I'd love to see it. I can't envision him playing anywhere other than Pittsburgh. I think he wants to play in Pittsburgh. I think he wants to retire there. He saved that organization. He
Yeah,
really did. And everything he's done, it's been outstanding. He's had an exceptional career. Sidney Crosby is my favorite player, and I would despise seeing him in a Montreal uniform. So
yeah,
let's not make that happen, please. The goals that would be scored in the Toronto Edmonton hypothetical but possible series would be pure filth. There would be some disgusting goals we saw last time those two teams played. There's so much talent on either side. It would be a very fun series to watch.
for sure.
It's ASE. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of obvious.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I don't know why I have a problem with that. I just have a problem with reading that off somehow. Calgary Cowboys.
Yeah, that would work.
That could work.
Logo
Sure.
with logo with like a bull rider or something, or
I like this one. I like this one from Clarky. The Ottawa politicians make their logo a snake.
There you go. I like it, Clarky.
This is a interesting comment that Corey brought up earlier. What Canadian team would you change the last name of? And
Yeah,
Salvatore says he would change one of the American teams to a Newfoundland team. And Newfoundland Settlers has historical implications better than the Seattle Kraken. That's
yeah,
cool. That's cool.
that'd be cool.
That'd be very cool.
I know on the last show too, we touched base on like another Canadian team coming to Toronto as well. Um, or like, like talking about that second Canadian team just in Canada. The one thing that we all have to look at too is um, there's like huge territorial rights between Toronto and even Buffalo.
Mhm.
And that's where when I think what was it, Jim Balsley was trying to get a team in Hamilton that didn't go over too well because you're close to Toronto and you're close to Buffalo.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard Hamilton. I've heard Evan Kitchener once. I don't really see it happening. I don't think those
No.
markets are big enough. And really, Ontario is dominated by Maple Leafs fans.
Yeah, for
If
sure.
if in and around the Ottawa area, it's dominated by Maple Leafs fans. This is
Yeah.
Canada's team.
Even Buffalo's dominated by Leaf fans when Toronto goes.
Oh, I know. Those are the games I go to. I mean, the ticket prices they're more
Oh,
affordable there.
exactly.
Buffalo fans get pissed off by that.
Yeah.
John says Justin Hall might get traded. I don't. I
I
don't think that happens.
No, I don't think so either. Justin Hall has been the best Maple Leafs defender this season so far. He's blocking shots. He works hard. He's just gotten better defensively. I don't see that trade happening.
Yeah, no, me neither. You just said it. He's been our best defensive defenseman. He's led the team in block shots and hits, and he's just been outstanding. He's really solidified his role on this team. He's I like how he's been playing beside Jake Muzzin. We
Yeah,
got a trade uh offer, I guess. Frank Rusty Nail says, would you trade Jake Muzzin for Jake Muzzin type defender with a little more speed? I mean, you know what? I don't know who that is,
yeah,
but if maybe, I mean, why not get more speed for the same kind of guy? I mean, I guess
yeah,
I'd do it.
yeah. I guess I would too.
Yeah, I mean, I also like the chemistry that Hall and Muzzin have been
Yeah,
uh, putting together, though. And that's another thing you have to take into consideration. Mark Williamson, thank you. Thank you.
thank you.
Smash that like button. Like button. Hit the notification bell if you're on YouTube, and if you're on Facebook, share this video. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Maple Leafs Media. We're growing. We're here night in, night out. Love seeing this. Uh, okay. What do you think is fueling Austin Matthews' hot streak? And I'll tell you what I think it is. I think that Austin Matthews being just having that lockdown happen last year, he got robbed of a 50-goal season. He was 3 short. He would have definitely got 50 goals last year. I
Yeah,
think that really added fuel to this fire, and he's gonna win the Rocket Richard Trophy this year. I'm telling you, I've been telling everybody since the beginning of the season. He's gonna win the Rocket this year. He's extra motivated. He's determined.
I think so too. Matthews, he's taken a whole another step this year, and he's just flying out there. And I think being 3 short of 50 last year, with I think about 10 games to go, maybe a little bit more, I think kind of put a little bit more fire in him to just be better and every shot he takes almost seems to be going in for him this year. And also helps too. He's got a great uh, two wingers in Hyman and Marner, especially.
Yeah, I
So
mean, yeah, it's Everything's working out for that first line. And it's not just Austin Matthews. That chemistry with Mitch Marner, invaluable. And Zach Hyman, he's always a workhorse out there. Austin Matthews, he has that wicked shot, and he's been outstanding. He really has been. I guess I'll show that stat again that I showed earlier about what what he's done the past on this tear that he's been. He's become the second fastest player to record 300 points in franchise history, behind only Vincent Damphousse. 9 goals on his last 25 shots and 11 in the past 12 games.
Yeah.
Unreal. Unreal. It's like a video game. Austin Matthews is like a video game.
Well, also it seems too Matthews as well has just been seems to be having fun out there too. And if you're having fun playing hockey and just beating on Vancouver even, but
Yeah.
no, he's been really playing really well for the Leafs.
He has been. Absolutely has been. Yo Mama says, if the Leafs were to make a trade, where do you think they should improve on? That's interesting. And I mean, I think that most glaring need would be still a defense partner reliable for Morgan Riley. And I don't think that that's available on the market right now. So with that being a fact, if these injuries continue building up and Wayne Simmons' injury lasts longer than expected, I'd say add another bottom 6 forward.
Yeah, I agree.
Can never have enough. You can't have enough of a surplus of depth in this pandemic season, especially. Let's get to some more comments here. Jack says the Kraken is the best expansion name since the Penguins. I guess it's better than a bunch of them. Like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
definitely. There's been some bad ones. With the extra $4 million, the Leafs were given to replace Simmons, Robertson, and Thornton. Dermot, do you think the Leafs will try to close in on Sam Bennett because his salary is now affordable? I've been hearing this a lot. I don't look up trade rumors too much. I'll be quite honest with you, but I would not be surprised to see it happen. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Dermot for Bennett and maybe some more going Calgary's way. But right now, with injuries, we could use them. But after players are healed up, I don't think there's really a glaring need for it.
no, and that's the same point with I think where I'm going with Bobby Ryan as well. It's once Jumbo Joe and Robertson come back, where are you going to slot these guys that you're friggin' in?
Yeah, absolutely. Nevin says he got robbed of Matthews got robbed of 50 last year and took him personally. That's what all the greats do. I don't know if you've watched Last Dance about Michael Jordan, but
Yeah,
you do anything to these guys, and the greatest of all time, they take personally. I mean,
that they do.
I hate Tom Brady with passion because I'm a Buffalo Bills fan for life, but it's another greatest of all time. Last night you saw it in the Super Bowl, if you watched it. Add a penalty kill specialist. I think our penalty kill has been much improved, but what do you
Yeah,
think, Jason?
I I could see it happening. I would probably take another penalty kill specialist. Just because you can never have too much, and I know Brian Burke said it too. You never want your star players really killing penalties as well. You rather see them use grunts to do it. And don't get me wrong, I like seeing Marner on the penalty kill. He's done great on there, and it also gives like a threat for a chance if they get a chance to score as well.
Yeah, definitely. Mitch Marner's been valuable in the penalty kill. I'll say that, but I agree with you. I don't like seeing my star player out there all the time. Maybe give him some time on the penalty kill, but I don't like it too much. I love Hyman on the penalty kill. I
Yeah,
think Thornton could be a good penalty killer. Robertson, maybe even in the future. I think he's a guy who'd get down and block a bunch of shots. But this is
yeah,
all stuff that remains to be seen. I think our penalty kill's been much improved considering we
yeah,
were the 6th worst in the NHL last year. There's still work to be done,
yeah.
but it's better. It's an improvement. Miles Tech, Chris Letang to the Leafs. What do you think, Brooks?
I don't know. I like Letang. He's a good player. I think he's been with the Penguins all of his career as well. Same with Crosby, but I can't remember off the top of my head how old Letang is. But I know he's got to be getting up there. I probably wouldn't want him just because if the age wise. Um, but he would be, in my opinion, he would be a good addition to Leafs. But age wise, I don't really think I would want him.
He's 33 years old, and you know what? It's not just the age for me; it's his injury history.
Yeah,
And is he really a fit with this team? We've got so many high-flying offensive defensemen.
yeah,
We don't need another one. We need another pillar, rock, Justin Hall kind of guy defensively
yeah,
that can fill in a top two spot with Morgan Riley.
yeah,
Because TJ Brody and Morgan Riley, that pairing's definitely been improved. They've improved
yeah,
together, their chemistry, but I don't think that that's something that can be sustained for a full
yeah.
56 game season.
No, because those two players, they're both offensive minded player defensemen, and I always kind of like the thought of having one kind of like stay at home defenseman paired with an offensive defenseman. I think that those kind of would balance it out a lot more.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like a Scott Niedermayer, Chris Pronger type
Yeah,
of defensive
yeah,
pairing. You gotta have one stay back, one join up on the rush. That's what that's what I think of when I think of a
yeah,
successful defensive pairing. Uh, Salvatore says Kraken just reminds me of creative team mode. I mean, it's an interesting name. I think they could have done some better stuff. I think
yeah,
Seattle Storm might have been better, but
yeah.
it's fitting with the Seattle area. A lot of storms out there, but it's whatever. I mean, the NHL, the jerseys look cool, I guess.
But it's also a fan vote too, so
Was it?
that
Yeah.
yeah, it was also a lot of votes I think on what the team name was going to be.
Okay. Well, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the Golden Knights one either, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's better than I thought.
yeah,
There's some more comments I want to get to. Frank Rusty Nail says, I think Dubas makes a shocker of a trade that might include Ilya Mikheyev or Jimmy Vesey because the offense on the third line is non-existent for the past 10 games. Quite shocked Vesey hasn't produced more. Okay, okay, okay. That's a lot to digest. Let's start off with Mikheyev. Ilya Mikheyev hasn't gotten on the score sheet yet. I don't see us trading Ilya Mikheyev, and I'll tell you why. He's on a team-friendly deal, 2 years. He's getting paid under $2 million each year. I don't think we're going to trade him. He's a valuable penalty killer. He's a great asset to have, and he will get on the score sheet soon.
he's doing all the right things, and it just he hasn't gotten any bounces to go his way.
Yeah, exactly. The bounces are going to go his way eventually. Jimmy Vesey, on the other hand, Jimmy Vesey, he's. I've been preaching Jimmy Vesey all year long. I've been preaching about Jimmy Vesey. He's going to be a valuable piece, and moving him from that second line, it's really hurt him in a big time way, I believe. But he's a hard worker, and he's been a victim of circumstances in the past. I think that he'll step up and have improved play.
Yes, so, and we gotta think too. Like this is his third, I think, third team in the last couple of years as well. Like every time you get on the team, it's a different system, different learning experience. The guys just gotta get comfortable finding their groove or finding themselves within that team as well.
Definitely, it's just he's got to get comfortable in the team environment. He's got to get comfortable with his new teammates, just like what we saw with Alex Kerfoot last year. Once he gets his feet wet in this new system, I'd expect him to be more comfortable, and it will show and translate in his play. Do you think the Leafs are underplaying Rasmus Sandin because he never lets us down, and the Leafs haven't been giving him much time on ice? Well, he got his first. Uh, it was his first time playing tonight. He got 5 minutes of ice time. I thought he was underplayed tonight, personally. I think he's been underplayed all year long,
Yeah.
but we got to find a way to integrate him into the lineup somehow. It's really hurting his development, having him sit there and do nothing, or having him sit there and play for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Miles Tech, what do you think of Zach Bogosian's play this year? Brooks, what do you think?
At the start, I wasn't a big fan of Bogosian. He made a lot of mistakes, took a lot of penalties at the start, but it's like as I said before with like VC, he's just got to find a groove within the team. And over the last couple of games, I think he's actually gotten a lot better defensively. I like to see him continue to improve, and who knows? I think he could turn out to be a real good asset for the Leafs.
I agree with you. I was hard on Zach Bogosian the first couple games on these
Yeah,
shows. I mean, the first game specifically took 4 penalty
yeah,
minutes against Montreal, couple easy penalties, and he's definitely a slower skater. But
yeah,
he can be a valuable uh, bottom pairing defense piece, and he's a veteran. He's just never played in a full 82 game season, and I'm
no,
surprised we haven't seen more load management with him, giving him some nights off
no,
and putting Rasmus Sandin in. I think that's a
yeah.
way we can integrate Sandin into the lineup more.
And that's the other thing too. You got basically, I would say, three defensemen fighting for ice time. You got like Sandin, Eamon Bogosian, and Dermott all and Lettinen. So four defensemen fighting for at least a spot on that bottom pairing.
Yeah, there's so much depth on this
Yeah,
defense, and it's actually very impressive what Kyle Dubas has done.
yeah.
Jack says the storm is lame. Come on, Jack. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying. John Howard says Corpusalo, and I think that that's going back to what goalie we would bring in
Yeah,
this offseason. And I mean, we saw what he could do firsthand last year in the
yeah,
qualifiers.
yeah,
I wouldn't mind that. Uh, Evan says, should the Leafs put VC back on the second line? He and Nylander were low key starting to click. Yes,
yes.
yes. I don't really have. I'm not going to go too much into it because you know my answer. Yes. Um, Mohammed says, what player do you think the Leafs will target to fill in the injured forward spots? And there's the rumors of Bobby Ryan. There's rumors of Sam Bennett. And
Yeah,
my answer is they might not target anybody.
no,
They
I think
really might just sit still and keep it the way they are.
yeah, because you guys gotta look at too. Like you gotta look at the players that are sitting on the taxi squad as well. You got Joey Anderson, you got Adam Brooks. I know Boyd's been getting in the lineup lately. There's a couple other forwards that could fill in for that role.
Engvall too. We
Yeah,
got we got a lot of players that are more comfortable in this locker room, and it's that 14-day quarantine period. There's a lot to take into consideration. If we were to target one, though, I guess it would be Sam Bennett.
yeah,
Uh, Steph, Steven, Stefan, Stefan, Stefan. Uh, I hereby nominate Matthews for the Rocket Richard, Hart, Ted Lindsay, Selke, and Lady Bing trophies for starters. You know what? Matthews for Rocket Richard. I'll
yeah,
I'll say that for sure. I really think that he's going to win that trophy this year. Mark Williamson says VC is good. Says trade Kerfoot. We got into so many trade talks on here.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. Kerfoot, I say give him a bit more time. It's still pretty early on in the season, and he's been working hard out there. Uh, I want to get some more comments, and then we'll head out of here. We've been on here for over an hour. Salvatore says Matthew's been showing he will wear that C in the next couple seasons. What is that? 5 years from now, Tavares' contract is done. I mean, he might even re-sign after that. I think Tavares is the captain for a long time, so I don't think Austin Matthews is getting that C anytime soon.
No,
And that's been a big topic of debate. Matthews was here first, but I think John Tavares was the right guy for the captaincy. What do you think, Brooksy?
I think so. I think John Tavares is the right guy for a captaincy. You could have also gone either way. You could have gone with Morgan Riley as well. He's been there since the Leafs drafted him as well.
Yeah.
So hands down, you could have gone with anybody, but I think Matthews, I wouldn't have given him the seat because the guy's still maturing still. He's still young. He's only 23. And John Tavares has been around for, you know, a while now. So I think giving JT this captaincy is the smart move.
Well, what you said, Morgan Riley for captain, Riley for captain. Chuck says, you know, that would have been fun just to say Captain Morgan all the time. Just Captain Morgan. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
That would have been fun, but I like John Tavares as a captain. I think he's very deserving of the captaincy. Um, I think that we have another question here from Let's Talk NHL. Do you think that tonight? Do you think that tonight's game was the worst of the season for the Toronto Maple Leafs? I'm just doing a quick scan here. It's either that or the Ottawa game that we lost.
yeah. I think it's tied between those two for sure. Because you, the Leafs, I know they've always had their issues facing bottom teams that are in the basement basically, and for whatever reason they don't play well. They don't, have the same energy as what they would when they're playing teams like Tampa Bay. I think between tonight's game and the game against Ottawa, I would say it would be tied for the worst games that they've played this year.
Yeah, I agree. Jason says yes, the Ottawa game. Ottawa game we lost. You're right,
Yeah,
Chuck. We lost that game, and you know what? That's embarrassing that we lost that. There's only two losses, or two wins for the Ottawa Senators this year.
yeah,
But I mean, the Leafs have really responded well to the games
simple.
that they've lost and to the games that they didn't play up to standard in. So I'd
Yeah,
expect them to respond to this downhill performance that we saw tonight. I mean, Sheldon Keefe is going to dissect the film. He's going to make sure that these players are ready for Montreal. He's gonna be hard on them.
yeah, because Montreal's going to come out with just high flying grit and just pretty much hit you any way they can and just wear them down in the end. And the Leafs are going to have to be ready for that.
Absolutely. The Maple Leafs need to come out firing against the Montreal Canadiens because the Montreal Canadiens will come out firing. We all know it's going to be exciting. Next two games between Montreal. Then we've got Ottawa again. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. As tonight was a great show, Brooksy.
Yep,
It was great having you on here. I mean, as always, I got to tell everyone here, Brooksy has been in the comments section every single show. Every show you look back, Brooksy's always giving great analysis, great comments, and I really appreciate your comments
yep,
and you coming in here night in and night out. So I'm going to allow you to close out the show, give your closing words to
yep,
everybody, and also I'm going to ask you to say this one more time. I think you know what's
yep.
coming.
Yep. All right, guys. So, Leafs Nation, smash that like button if you haven't. Hit subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit that notification bell. You'll be notified anytime Jake is live on Maple Leafs Media. And if you're on Facebook or YouTube, share the video. It helps out the channel and it helps out Jake to get this channel up and going.
You want to give your closing words for
Right.
Leaf Nation tonight?
Leafs Nation has been a good show. Thank you for all your comments. Chuck, Jack, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Jake, for doing this. We know you don't get paid for it. You're working hard night in, night out on this channel. But thank you for having me. It's been a blast on this channel.
Yes, Brooksy, thank you for coming on tonight. We'll get you on again in the future. And this is what it's all about. Leafs fans talking to other Leafs fans about the Toronto Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs media is not Sportsnet and it's not TSN. It's just Leafs fans having discussions about the Toronto Maple Leafs or hockey in general with other hockey fans, wherever you may be. So thank you everyone for the great comments tonight. Make sure you smash the like button, hit the notification bell. Thank you so much for joining me, Brooksy, and thank you to everyone else who's joined here tonight. If you want to get in on a show, feel free to reach out to me on Maple Leafs Media Facebook or Instagram, and I'd be happy to have you on. Thank you for coming on again, Brooksy.
Thank you. Good night.
Until next time.